In this video, we're going to look at the layer editor, which we get at with this second icon in the upper left. And I've got a little multi set up. Now I'm going to play it for you first, then I'm going to show you how I've used the layer editor to customize it. So I've got 4 parts here. They're all playing on MIDI channel 1. They're all getting triggered. A couple have some of the player modes enabled. But the important thing here is that in the layer editor, I'm not triggering them all in all of the ranges. So let me first go back here and show you what's going on with each part. The first one I've got is a pad. And I have it set up with an arpeggiator pattern, a 6-note pattern at 8th notes in random order. But the important thing here in the layer editor is that I have it playing only from C3 and higher. So we set the range that we want each of the parts to play at by dragging this little red bar on top for the low range on the bottom and the high range on the top. So if I trigger a low note, nothing happens. We're not going to hear anything. It only gets triggered after that C. Now, back to the arpeggiator, if we look at the second part, I've got a different arpeggiation pattern, and I'll just go over here. I'm going to close this, and I'll solo this part, or rather, unmute it. Now I have this one panned hard right, and the other one hard left, and the two together are doing sort of complementary patterns with the arpeggiator. Now I have this on the left here showing my sustain pedal action, because when we're working with the arpeggiator, if I lift my fingers off the key and hold the sustain pedal down, then the chord will be sustained and the arpeggiator will stop, because as you recall, the arpeggiator only works with held chords when latch mode is disabled here. So it's working. Put sustain pedal down, take my fingers off the key, and I just get the sustained chord. So 2 different arpeggiator patterns with 1 and 2. And in the layer mode, I have them both triggering only in the upper registers from C3 and higher. So back to our regular instrument view. I'm going to close this. And let's look at the next 2. So in the third part here, I have a nice pad sound. And if we look in the layer editor, I have this one playing across the entire range. So even when I'm playing up high, I'm getting that sustained sound while the other 2 are arpeggiating. So if we go back here and turn these on, we'll see the 3 and hear the 3 of them together. This one playing sustained sounds down low, and up high, sustained sounds plus these 2 being arpeggiated. So there's a sustained element up high as well as an arpeggiated element. And now in the fourth part over here, I'll solo this one. Let's look in the layer editor. Here I have this playing only in the lower register. But it'll drop out after C. After C sharp, I can bring that down to C right there. And that layered with this one gives a nice thick low register. So when I have all of them together, I'm getting this nice pad across the entire range, this thickening out the low end, and these arpeggiated notes in the higher range, courtesy of these range displays. So we set them by dragging these red bars, or we can set them numerically here, just by dragging there. That's the high range and that highest velocity. We'll look at velocity layers in a moment, but right now I'm just looking at ranges of notes. So that's the high note and the low note. And then here are the high notes and low notes for these individual parts. Now as well, each of these in the layer editor has their own trigger modes and latch modes. So we can trigger these with the familiar next 16th, next beat, or next bar. And we can also engage or disengage the latch mode from there. But I'm leaving those off for now and everything with an immediate trigger. So now, armed with this information, I'm going to play that part again, and you can see and hear and understand what's being triggered in what range and how the sustain pedal is playing into things. Now, I think I like this multi with the way I have the 4 parts set up and the layers set like this. And I want to save this. So I'm going to click here to save the multi. Let's go save as, and I'll name it. And it's going to prompt us to the folder that it needs to go to in order for it to be recognized in the menu here. And let's look at the location of that. In my user folder, Documents, IK Multimedia, Sample Tank 4, and Multis. So to get to it from here, Documents, which is within my user folder, IK Multimedia, Sample Tank 4, Multis, and let's save it there. So now it's showing up in the menu over here, along with the other multis that ship with Sample Tank, and here's some older ones I have from Sample Tank 3. Here I've got another custom multi set up, and I'm using the first 4 parts, and they're all using the full range of the keyboard, but I'm limiting the velocity ranges. The first one is only being triggered between 60 and 127. This one between 97 and 127, so only on really loud hits. This one only from 75 and under, meaning only on quieter notes. And this one full range on all notes. And you can see here the velocities of the notes that I'm triggering, and here some mod wheel in this fader. So let's look at what I have going on. Here's the first sound. So on quieter velocities, we don't hear it. But we hear it on louder ones. Same thing with this one. It only kicks in at higher velocities, the two together. This one higher than this one. And here's the third one, which is only quieter velocities. And I have this transposed up an octave. And then the fourth one, which is full range. And again, this one's down an octave. And all of them together. So quieter, harder. With mod wheel. And the harder notes, a bit more dirtier and aggressive. Let's hear a little lead line with it. So we get a nice wide range of expression by triggering different instruments at different velocity ranges and potentially even combined with different note ranges. So that's the layer editor. We'll continue with more in the next video.